We are here for well, we're gonna start off
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk, episode 9, man. Um
Whose show is it anyway? Right? That's what it's called, right? Whose
uh
show is
ep-
this?
yes, who show is this? All right. So, do you want to go first? Or should I go first on this one?
I'll go first.
You'll go first. Okay.
Right from the first frame of this episode, I was loving it. They recreated the 1970s Incredible Hulk opening.
Yes.
Bro, almost shot for shot. It was amazing. And the best part is the She-Hulk, when she transformed to She-Hulk, it isn't a CGI character. It's a real actor. In
Yeah.
the 70s, Lou Ferrigno played the Hulk.
Yeah.
I know there was a man who played the She-Hulk part in one episode or a couple episodes of She-Hulk. I think this is the episode where a man was playing the She-Hulk.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
African American actor too, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Can't tell because of the green, bro. This is why, like, racist people are stupid because they wouldn't know unless someone was told, Loved the intro. I thought that was one of the best ways to kick off the episode. Absolutely. Loved it.
I thought for a split second that the whole episode was going to be like that. To be honest, I thought it was, because I was like, wait, is this how this episode is going to look? I thought it would have been intriguing, would have been different, would have been nice to see that, maybe.
Yeah. Dude, did you notice they even cropped in that aspect ratio so it's not
Yeah,
16:9? It
yeah,
was 4:3.
it was a nice touch.
The thing I loved the most is they purposely left a long edit in there. When she goes, "Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry."
Yes, yes.
Right? And there's that little pause, right? That is intentional.
Oh yeah,
And
it is.
yeah, and it wasn't so much so in the original. It was a little less,
Mm-hmm.
at least as I remember it. But I was just like, "Oh,
It
this
definitely
is
felt,
awesome."
it felt like retro television for sure.
Yes.
It just, it felt so amazing. It felt so good, man. But yeah, go ahead. I'll let you continue.
Oh, it was great. And then from then on out, it just was a great episode.
Yeah, I honestly, so I know I've been hard on She-Hulk. Um, anybody who's been watching our Take One series up to now knows that have not been a big fan of the She-Hulk show. Episode 8 was amazing. We got a taste of Daredevil. This episode 9 of She-Hulk, has to be one of the greatest episodes I've ever seen in any Marvel TV show. Period.
Absolutely.
Hands down. And coming from me, that is huge, because I was like on the fence with this show. I was done. I was ready to stop watching it at like episode 4. I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm gonna bite the bullet. I'm done. This
Yeah, because
episode,
it's better than Obi-Wan, so you have to finish watching it.
you're right. This episode knew what it was doing, and this episode leaned into the culture of how fans of the MCU looked at the MCU,
Yeah.
basically. The whole intro, like you said, with the old school Hawk intro, freaking amazing. And I love how it seems like every episode they have in regards to She-Hulk, they lean into that fourth wall even more, and like they just keep diving in and keep pushing it. Legions in chat, what's up, buddy? Episode 9, it's gonna be some mod spoilers in here, but not really, because some of the stuff is in the commercial. You know how it goes, man. But appreciate you stopping by, buddy. Hashtag low facts. So when they started diving into the Kevin Feige thing, that was entertaining.
Okay, not only was that, but did you notice that the top of Kevin looked like he was wearing a baseball hat? It
Oh,
had
the
the
robot?
visor over the lenses. Yeah, like the
Oh,
way
I
Kevin
didn't catch that.
Feige is always wearing a baseball hat.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. I honestly planned on, I was going to do it again before tonight's recording. I was going to go back and rewatch the episode, because there was just so much in that episode that was happening that I just kind of wanted to go back and look at it. I thought for sure they were going to have Kevin in this actual episode, and then when it turned out that he was a robot, that was just so freaking hilarious.
Oh, that was
So
great. And
funny.
did you notice what was on the screens? There was the Avengers, there was Thor, there was what else was there? There was like so many of the movies there.
It
Guardians
was
of the
a
Galaxy was there. Like I
Black
was like,
Panther.
wow.
Black
And
Panther.
then they have the racks of comic books everywhere,
Yeah. It,
and you can
man.
actually pick out what some of those comics are.
Yeah, yeah, you could. That's why I said I want to go back and watch this episode probably like two more times just to like really catch everything.
Yeah, what I
Um,
liked is they kept the tradition of She-Hulk literally ripping through the comic book and jumping from scene to scene, or ripping through the comic book and yelling at the artist or yelling at the audience. In She-Hulk, the comic book,
yeah,
she would do that, and this was such an amazing tip of the hat of
when
that.
they did that, I was like, at first, I was a little confused. I was like, wait, why are we on a Disney screen? Wait, why do I still hear She-Hulk? Because I like I was kind of doing something while I was watching at that point in time. That was just so like freaking interesting that they did, like that they went that route, honestly. And
Yeah,
they really just I felt like they just had fun with this show, especially with this last episode. And I like how She-Hulk, when she was talking to Kevin, she pointed out a lot of things that fans of the MCU have complained about.
yep,
How they complained about how every Marvel movie seems like the same thing. Everything has the same ending, the same type of story. Everybody has daddy issues. Um, and how like just like I like that they turned the mirror to themselves in this episode
yeah,
and pointed fun at it and spoke on the simple fact like, hey, things are going to be different now. We should switch up our stories more, be more innovative, be more creative, be more bold. I wonder if that's Marvel's way of saying, hey, we hear you guys.
yeah.
You know,
It
we're
has
gonna
to be.
it has to be.
And the best thing is, before they did that jump to the screen, here she is talking to us, the audience, and she's like, "Doesn't this seem like a little much? Like, why is he here? Why is this happening? Why is this?" You know?
It's kind of funny because I was thinking that same exact thing when Hulk jumped in the room. I was like, wait, where did he come from? You know,
Yeah,
like what the heck is going on? So and it's funny because I was thinking in my head, oh, this is gonna end like every other Marvel TV show or movie.
yeah.
Let's go. And then she said it, and it was just like, okay, that's I really like what they're doing. They're very self aware, and I really do appreciate that.
Not
Really do
only
appreciate
that, as she was talking to Kevin,
that.
um, she was like, "Oh, we don't need this. We've done that before. We don't need that. We don't need
Yeah,
this. We don't need that." And then Kevin's like changing it on the fly.
yeah,
And then when she sits down, Kevin's like, "Oh, we're sitting down now." That was great. And when she
yeah.
goes, "And what about the X-Men?" And she turns to the cameras like,
Dude, I love how she is constantly, or the show in general is constantly pointing out something about the X Men. I feel like almost every other episode there is a nod to the X Men,
"Yes,
and like that just reassures that it's happening. It's
yeah."
happening soon, probably sooner than we think. Honestly, speaking of
There
X
might be
Men,
hints of it in Black Panther for all we know.
maybe. Speaking of X Men, how do you? And then we'll come back to the topic in a quick second. How do you feel about the a couple of Marvel movies being pushed back? I forgot which ones were. I had to pull it up. But there's a bunch of Marvel movies that are being pushed back right now.
Oh, I didn't
Um,
hear.
yeah. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick for you guys. Marvel movie delay. Um,
Secret
I
Wars and Blade.
see. So Secret Wars and Blade is being pushed back. Did it say to when? I thought it
I
was,
just pulled up the article. I
I thought it was
looked
more
up.
than that. So Marvel delayed Avengers 6, and that's because some people are saying that that's great news for Secret Wars because
It is.
it's going to allow more time to build up characters and get the characters ready for Avengers, because eventually that's what we're all this leading up to, is leading up to the Avengers films.
I think they did it more because they feel like their special effects is suffering. There has been so much the special effects people have complained so much how Marvel pushes them too hard, and they can't. put out the quality that they want. I mean,
Hmm.
think about it. It was even addressed at the end of She-Hulk, where Kevin tells
Oh
She-Hulk,
yes.
he goes, "Listen, you're expensive. Could you go back to your regular self?"
And then she was like, "Oh yeah." And then when she went back to her regular self, Kevin was like, "Yeah, can you wait till the camera turns away so that way we don't have to waste money on the CG?" I
Yeah,
was like, I
yeah.
freaking love that, man. I love that so much. I love that. That was amazing.
But my
Um,
favorite thing in the writers' room is when she stomps on the table. Only one person is smart enough to get up and back away. Everyone
yeah,
else is like, "Yeah, dude, whatever." She's
yeah,
like,
pretty
She-Hulk
much.
slams on the table. I'm running.
But yeah, I just think that maybe it could be that. I mean, we've been hearing so much about the special effects team for so long. There were even some retakes on certain scenes from like Thor: Love and Thunder, where they had to go back and redo some special effects for the release on Disney Plus. It's just I can imagine it probably is kind of tough, man. They've been doing this for over 10, 12 years, and it's a lot of money. I mean, these movies thrive off of special effects,
They do.
so but yeah, it sucks to see that it has gotten delayed, but I mean, at the end of the day, we're not short from any Marvel content. I'm sure we're not going to even really notice it, you know.
Here's the thing: moving Deadpool back makes sense, okay? Because you have the two main lead actors who have to get into fighting shape,
Yeah.
you know, and because they're older, it may take a little longer.
Mhm.
Or the simple fact is they want to get the story perfect. Fantastic Four, we've waited so long for a good Fantastic Four movie. No one's going to care about the 3 month pushback. Nobody.
I do.
I don't, because I would rather wait 6 months and get a good film than not wait and get a shitty film. Because Fantastic Four is such a hard film to make decent.
True indeed.
You
True indeed.
know, Avengers: Secret Wars, again, I think that's a special effects thing. Uh, and Blade was also pushed back, right?
Yeah, Blade was pushed back. I heard that Mahershala Ali is a little upset about that. He's ready to get going, and he's a
I
little
understand
impatient.
that, but at the same token, he again, hope I'm wrong. He just might not be the right actor for it, but I'm hoping I'm wrong. And again, it's the whole swag thing that we talked about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Blade has swag, and that actor had the what's his name again? Ali.
Mahershala Ali.
Okay, I'll just
Ali.
Mahershal.
Mahershala. There we go.
Ali's easier. Ali has a presence, but I don't know if his presence equals Blade. But again, I hope I'm wrong.
That is true. I mean, like I said, they've done some amazing castings before, and a lot of them I was like, okay, Robert Downey Jr., the guy who was like on drugs like 2 months ago, he's gonna play Iron Man.
Yeah, and
Okay.
also what's his name? Who's in Guardians of the Galaxy?
Chris Pratt.
Yeah, wasn't he like the fat guy from Community?
Oh yeah, from
Was it Community or Office Space?
uh Parks and Recreation.
Parks and
Recreation.
Rec.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
was the
yeah.
fat guy in Parks and Rec. People are like him, and then you see him, and he's did the
Perf-
part perfectly.
Perfect. I mean, like I said before, man, Marvel surprises the heck out of us with their
Yeah.
casting. They haven't really let us down, to be honest with you. They very frequently, like, well, so I say not frequently, have like failed on casting. So,
Very rarely.
so it seems weird, but I'm sure they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm sure they know what they're doing.
Maybe they have a crystal ball or something they're looking into. Um,
Um,
so
yeah.
back to She-Hulk. Um, what did you think of the first half of the episode? Were you agreeing with her, saying like, "Do people really want this? Like, why is this? Why is the story turning out like this?"
I 100% agree because, like I said before, when that scene started happening, where just the whole plot was the guy just wanting to get the the She-Hulk blood, and then Hulk coming out of nowhere, and everybody just randomly fighting. It did, like, I was like I said, I was thinking that in my mind. I was like, okay, here we go again. I mean, I wasn't upset. I just figured this is just what we're used to. This is what's gonna happen.
Uh,
You know?
I was looking at it as like, why is this a confusing mess? And I was like, this is going to be such a downer for the show. And then when she jumps through the screen, I was like, okay, this is different.
Yeah, I think for me that's where the episode took a leap. honestly. The episode felt okay. It wasn't bad. I just think that from that point on, that's when the episode just went a completely different direction. Where I was like, oh wow, they're trying something different. They're being bold. You know,
Yeah.
like I said, they're actually they're airing. I don't want to say their dirty laundry because people already knew about their dirty laundry, so to speak. But they're talking about the complaints that people have had with Marvel, and they're having fun with it, which means that they're acknowledging it, which means that hopefully they're going to change it. And I love that they did that. That like
Uh,
whoever made that decision, applaud that person.
what I also did like about that, when she was walking around the Marvel part of Disney, essentially that's what she did.
Yeah.
You saw the posters where it says Captain America wants you to put away your cell phone.
Oh yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah, I did see that. I
And
did
at
see
one
that.
point, it was like the Hulk wants you to shred or smash all documents, something like that. That was also there.
I think I missed that one. I don't think I saw
Yeah,
that
that
one.
was by the whiteboard.
Okay.
I
Yeah, I
probably
really got
seen
to
it.
go back and watch this episode, man. Such a good
Um,
episode.
Secret reveal at the end with the Hulk.
Oh yeah. So apparently, when they were having a little dinner at the end of the movie, which felt almost like a scene out of Fast and Furious for some reason, I don't know
Well, it
why.
was a barbecue, really.
Barbecue. Yeah, but this felt like a Fast and Furious barbecue. I don't know why. I was waiting for like Vin Diesel to pop out of nowhere.
Family.
So apparently Hawk has a son. What was his
Yes, he
name
does.
again?
Scar.
Scar. So random, out of nowhere.
It's not random. Scar is part
So,
of the Young Avengers. Scar is his son from Planet Hulk. Scar has been around for a long time.
and I get that. I just thought it was just like it was like almost like shrug that, like, hey, I got a son. Oh, okay. It was like, wait, can we like dive into that for like a good 5 minutes before we end the show? Like, you
No,
know?
because in the comic book, the way Scar came about is really twisted.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm kind of glad they skipped all over that and they just showed his son. But now you're seeing the the young girl who became Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm.
You're seeing Spider-Man, obviously teenager and young.
Mm-hmm.
You're seeing Scar. You're seeing the the Wanda's and Vision's kids,
Mm-hmm.
because they're also in the Young Avengers. Like you're seeing the build up to the Young Avengers happen.
Yeah, it's definitely happening 100%. Even when there was a point, I forgot when, where they Marvel almost announced that they weren't going to do that, and then we just kept seeing all these movies, all these shows, all these characters, and then we kind of put two and two together. Like, yeah, you're lying. You're doing the Young Avengers because they
I
said they
I
weren't going to do another Avengers movie
yeah,
like a few
I
years
knew that
ago.
was a lie. Everybody knew
Yeah,
it was a lie. But
yeah,
what I think is going to happen is those kids are going to wind up in Secret Wars, and they're going to have to help bail out their parents.
yeah, yeah. This is going to be so interesting. Like I told you before we got the most recent shows, I was kind of like blah on the MCU. I really was. Now with these new characters coming in, the Young Avengers, et cetera, I'm getting excited about Marvel again. I really am. Because for a
I
while,
have not lost any interest in Marvel, even after the Eternals.
even after the internals, I'm really
Yes,
surprised because you hated that
everybody.
movie.
I hate that movie. One of the worst movies ever released of the year of that year.
Jeez.
But the thing is, Robert Rodriguez, in his book Rebel Without a Crew,
Mm-hmm.
stated, and 100% agree with this. He goes, make as many films as you can, get all the shitty ones out of the way before you start making good ones. And I think this is one time where Marvel thought, okay, we'll do this. It'll be great to lead into other things because of whatever reason they're thinking. Then the
Mm-hmm.
movie came out and then people hated it and they're like, oh, maybe we should not add this stuff and move on to the other plans that we had. And they focused on television to develop characters to add, so you have something during the wait between movies
Yeah.
to keep to
Basically.
keep your Marvel hunger fed.
Basically. And maybe the TV shows will also help keep the special effect artists around, not work them as hard, and just kind of give them a break in between movies, because that's where they're spending most of their money for the special effects is on the movies. It's longer
Yes.
production, longer just longer production time,
Yes.
honestly. So but yeah, I think oh yeah, the other thing I want to talk about too is at the end of the episode where Wong met with what is his name? At the end of the episode. Like the
Oh,
very end.
Abomination.
Abomination. It's so funny because Wong came into his cell, and said, "All right, you ready to go?" He had his things packed, and Abomination was like, "Oh, so what took you so long? Were you like doing another TV show?" And he said something like, "Yeah, like TV is just so like TV is on fire right now for for the
Yeah,
sake
we're
of
living
argument."
in the golden age of television, or like that.
And then when he said that, you heard, I think you heard like the Wakanda drums in the background.
Yes.
So I was like, wait a second, like, is there like something Wakanda related that's happening in the show?
Do you want to hear my theory?
What's your theory?
For the Thunderbolts, I think he is the secret character that they're going to add in.
Ah, for Thunderbolts. What then? What
Because
was
think
that have?
about it, he'll be the only non. Well, think about it. They're all super soldiers, all
Yeah.
of them. Every character in Thunderbolts is a super soldier. That would
So
also mean, guess what? Abomination, super soldier. Remember, because he got all those injections to become a super soldier,
yeah,
and then they added Hulk's blood to give him gamma.
yeah.
So they're all super soldiers. He's the only super soldier character not added. My theory is Abomination will be there.
I don't know. I don't have a theory. I mean, once I heard the Black Panther drums, I was just like confused. Like, okay, what is this going to lead into?
He doesn't fit in
Um,
Black Panther movie.
I'm just wondering. I'm wondering why they had the drums. Like that was on purpose. I don't know why, but that was on purpose for some
Maybe
reason.
Wong's gonna be in Black Panther.
Probably. I
That
think I
that
could see
fits.
that more. Yeah, I could see that more than anything else, honestly. So
Wong has been the character you've seen in almost every episode in the show.
yeah, yeah,
Since
and he's
Doctor
been
Strange Mom, he's been in everything.
Doctor Strange mom. I can't get over that.
But it's true though, isn't Multiverse of Madness
Yeah,
Mom?
mom. But yeah, I would have to say, man, great episode. Like I said before, probably my favorite TV show episode from Marvel to date. Which I'm just gonna go ahead out there and say I'm giving this a 5 out of 5 chocolate bunnies, hands
It is
down.
definitely a 5 out of 5 chocolate bunnies, but it also gets a bonus half a bunny because I think they're making Daredevil and her a thing.
I was thinking that I was like, are they going to become a thing?
I think they're a thing.
Because she is really feeling him, like more
And
than I
him
thought.
her.
Yeah, because at a certain point, I figured, all right, they had their meet up. She'll get over it. She'll move on. She saw him and she was still like kind of feeding over him a little bit. And I was like, are they going to do this? Are they going to make these two a couple or a thing or something? They would have to.
Yes, and the two things that happened at the table cracked me up. The old lady trying to sleep with him,
Oh, yeah.
and then the husband was like, "Come on, you're helping me make burgers." And
Oh,
then
man.
when she sits down next to him, he goes, "I think I need a co-counsel on this," meaning lawyer talk.
Yeah, yeah.
Help me out, but lawyer talk. I thought it was great. I thought it was perfect.
They're
And then Daredevil going, "Wow, some family," and she's like, "You don't know the half of it."
their chemistry is freaking amazing. I'm pretty sure that for the next Daredevil series that we're going to get on Disney Plus, we're going to have She-Hulk in there,
Yeah,
without a doubt, at least for a handful of episodes.
their
And
chemistry is so good. I believe they slept together. Like
yeah,
that's how good that chemistry is.
seriously, like I really do think Marvel has something here with both of those characters, and I hope they keep it going.
Yeah,
Honestly, because we don't really like we get it here and there, where we have two heroes, like kind of having a thing together and then trying to build a story off of it. We got that with WandaVision, which I know you didn't like. They have to do something with this. They have to. Marvel, please do it. Please, I'm begging you.
I would love to see them as co-counsel defending Vision.
Defending Vision. Do
Yeah,
you
think
think
about
Vision?
it.
Do you think Vision is
Is
still
Vision
like?
a person? Does Vision have the same rights as a person? It's a possibility that could happen.
Do you think they would bring the Vision storyline back? Are we done with that? Like, do you
No,
really think that's gonna happen again?
I think he will be back in Secret Wars, if not before that.
Yeah. Another big question: are we getting a? Do you think, in your opinion, that we will get a She-Hulk episode 2? I mean,
Season
season
two,
2.
yes.
Really?
Well, here's the thing. I think if she gets a season two, it's going to be after uh the Avengers movie. I think she's just gonna pop up in other people's episodes.
Okay, I can see that. I feel like we will get a She-Hulk before Kang Dynasty. Like, I
Um,
think it'll happen before then. Yeah,
I'm not
Secret
so
Wars
sure.
is the last
I hope you're right.
one.
Tell you the truth, I hope you're right, but in my opinion, I don't think so. But even still, great show. Great. You know what is this ending closed up a lot of loose threads, and it did a little fantasy fulfilling
Yeah.
because when she was talking to Kevin, she was like, Get Daredevil back. You know, ladies need something too."
Yeah.
And Kevin even says, "Okay, that's new." You know, I mean, I thought that was great. You know,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
think that they're going the right way because you have Miss Marvel that was executed perfectly.
Hmm.
You have She Hulk that was a good story that ended the right way. So the way it ended made sense. So
Yeah.
everything that happened beforehand, it made sense.
Mhm.
And you just have them kind of just chugging along in a good direction. I think that the MCU is in a really strong spot now.
Yeah.
And Miss Marvel and She Hulk reset a couple of things and dropped hints to the X Men, so much so that you know they're coming. You
Yeah.
can't deny that they're coming.
Yeah. You can't deny, because there was a point where I was like, I don't know if we're ever gonna get X-Men movies, because it just didn't seem like they were trying to do anything in that regard. But now it's like they're literally plastering it in our face at this point.
Yeah,
So it's gonna happen. I cannot wait to see Wolverine again. Can't wait, bro.
I can't wait
Um,
to see who's going to be the new Wolverine.
I know that's listen. Whoever's gonna play the new Wolverine, man, you got some shoes to fill. Especially since Hugh Jackman's coming back. You know he's going to get jacked again. People are going to start loving Jackman again.
Here's the thing. I think he's going to come from an alternate universe.
Oh, 100%. He has to,
It'll be
because he's dead.
it'll be that alternate universe Wolverine and maybe the real Wolverine, the MCU new Wolverine
Hmm.
will pop up in Deadpool, even if it's an end credits.
I'm pretty sure, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be something X-Men related in the end credit scene of Deadpool. I'm calling it now.
And I'm still hoping it's Oscar Isaac as the new Wolverine.
When are we scheduled to possibly get Deadpool 3? 24,
It
right?
was yes, no 25. They push it back.
Oh, 25. Okay. I
Yeah,
think
but it's
that's
supposed to
too.
come out. I think. Hold on, I have to go back to that article. History.
Chat, how's it going, by the way? How's everybody doing? Happy Friday, guys.
Oh no, has moved from September to November, so it's only been pushed back 2 months.
Okay, of
2024.
2024. Okay. That's not bad. Yeah,
No, it's
I
not
I
terrible.
can I can see X-Men thing like at the end of that movie.
Yeah,
100%. Like just leading into that basically.
yeah, absolutely.
Jeez, I feel like now we're getting into the phase of the movies that we've been really wanting from like comic book heroes like X-Men, Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom. We're finally getting to the characters that we have been fiending for since the beginning of the MCU.
Yeah,
Finally. So, and in that case, and in closing, She-Hulk, the last two episodes were great. Everything else before that is forgettable for me.
and for me, I think it was great because it picks a storyline from the comics. It follows a lot of the comic book threads that they have for her, like her breaking the fourth wall. She was the first character to do it. She did it before Deadpool. Um, the way they have her interact with the cameras very much follows the comic books. The way she travels between panels, they imitated. And I just think that there were so many Easter eggs and hints dropped throughout the whole series that I think it was a wonderful series. Overall, it's a four. It's not a five, but overall, it's a four chocolate bunnies. But the last episode, five chocolate bunnies. Second to last episode, five chocolate bunnies.
Last episode, man, you're just getting a whole chocolate box thrown at you for sure. Cause that was just some creative stuff for sure.
Yeah.